Good morning. I am Dr. Mrs. Suvarna Prashant Patil. I am working as Assistant Professor in Department of Statistics from Sadhguru Gadge Maharaj College, Karad. Students, we start with our next lecture, Properties of Estimators. In that we have completed first property number 1, that is unbiasedness or unbiased estimators. Also second property we have completed, that efficiency, means efficient estimators. Now from last lecture we start with our next property number 3, that is consistency. In previous lecture we have seen definition of consistency. All of you remember, suppose Tn we consider here T of x1, x2, xn be a sequence of estimators is said to be consistent estimator if and only if probability of mod Tn minus theta less than epsilon is equal to 1 when we take limit as n tends to infinity. This is definition of consistency. We have seen in previous lecture definition of consistency and also some properties of consistency. Now we start with example of consistency. Means we have to show that, or we have to find out whether this estimator is consistent or not. For that purpose, we start with first example. That example number 1 I have written here. For example, let x1, x2, xn be random sample from normal with parameter mu sigma square. Then first example is that we have to show that this sample variance. Sample variance is not unbiased estimator, but it is a consistent estimator for population variance sigma square. Also we have shown that sample mean square, means capital S square is unbiased estimator and also it is consistent estimator for population variance sigma square. These two examples we have completed in this lecture. In last lecture we completed this sample variance is not unbiased. This part we have completed in property number 1, that sample variance is not unbiased. Now we have to show that whether it is not unbiased estimator but it is consistent estimator for population variance sigma square. Also we have shown that sample mean square is unbiased. This part we have completed in our previous lectures. Now we have to show that sample mean square is consistent estimator for population variance sigma square. Then how to show that? We start with this. Here our given information is that our random sample comes from normal distribution with a parameter mu sigma square. Hence we know that mean of normal distribution is mean mu and variance of x is equal to sigma square. Also we know that sample mean is unbiased estimator for population mean, means x bar is unbiased estimator for population mean mu, and also variance of x bar is equal to sigma square divided by n. Okay. Since now we have to show that whether this sample variance is unbiased or is consistent estimator for population variance sigma square. Okay. All of you know, you have learned in BSc second year that if xi follows normal with parameter mu sigma square, then if xi minus mu divided by sigma follows normal with parameter 0. This is standard normal distribution. All of you remember that. Here we consider this distribution as Z. Means here original our sample xi's are IID, independent identically distributed. Xi follows normal mu sigma square, then our Zi means next random variable, that xi minus mu divided by sigma follows normal 0. By using this property, here we have shown that our sample variance, whether we have to show that or we have to find out that it is consistent or not. Okay. Then xi minus mu divided by sigma follows normal 0. And all of you know that sum of square of standard normal distribution follows chi-square with n degrees of freedom. Here I is running from 1 to n since xi's are IID. Okay. In this case mu is unknown. Whether if mu unknown, we replace this mu by its unbiased estimator and it becomes xi minus x bar divided by sigma bracket square which follows chi-square with n minus 1 degrees of freedom. Okay. This term we have write down in this way: summation xi minus x bar bracket square divided by sigma square follows chi-square with n minus 1 degrees of freedom. By using this result, here we have to show that S square means sample variance and also sample mean square are consistent estimators for population variance sigma square. Here we use this formula summation xi minus x bar bracket square as n S square. Since we know that sample variance, in last lecture we have seen S square is equal to summation xi minus x bar bracket square divided by n. We multiply this n with S square, so n S square is equal to here summation xi minus x bar bracket square. Okay, we substitute this n S square term in this formula or in this statistic. We substitute here and we have to find out this follows chi-square with n minus 1 degrees of freedom. Okay, which implies this n S square we substitute here. So n S square divided by sigma square follows chi-square with n minus 1 degrees of freedom. Similarly, if we take formula for sample mean square, S square is equal to 1 upon n minus 1 summation xi minus x bar bracket square. Here I is running from 1 to n since xi's are IID. Okay, we multiply this constant term to this side. So n minus 1 S square is equal to here. Remember here summation I is running from 1 to n. Okay, since xi's are IID. Means we have find out that summation xi minus x bar bracket square is equal to n S square, and also this term summation xi minus x bar bracket square is equal to n minus 1 capital S square. Okay. Now we have find out here that our xi's are normal mu sigma square. Okay. Sum of square of standard normal distribution follows chi-square with n minus 1 degrees of freedom. Okay. Now you have to choose that whether you have substitute here instead of summation xi minus x bar bracket square, here you substitute n S square or n minus 1 S square. Okay. In first case we substitute n S square. In second case we have to substitute n minus 1 S square. Formula remains same because all of you know you have learned this result in BSc second year. You should remember that sum of a square of a standard normal follows chi-square with n minus 1 degrees of freedom. Okay. Now we solve in first case. N S square upon sigma square follows chi-square with n minus 1 degrees of freedom. Okay. Now our target is that we have to show that this S square is, or we have to find out that whether this S square is consistent or not. For that purpose, here we use our necessary and sufficient condition of consistency. In last lecture, we have seen that condition is that if Tn is sequence of estimators, okay, then that Tn is said to be consistent estimator for unknown population parameter theta if first condition is that expected value of Tn goes to theta as n tends to infinity, and second condition is that variance of Tn tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. All of you remember that this is a large sample property. For large sample, if we satisfy these two conditions, this is first condition, this is second condition, okay, then we say that this Tn is consistent estimator for theta, meaning is that Tn is convergent in probability to theta. Okay. Now our target is that here Tn is our S square sample variance. we have to find out expected value of s square and also variance of s square. That is our target. Then we have to show that, or we have to check whether this goes to theta and whether variance of that s square goes to 0 as n tends to infinity. Okay. Now our target is that we have to find out expected value of s square. For that purpose, here we take this step as this statistic. Okay. This is our statistic. N s square upon sigma square follows chi-square with n minus 1 degrees of freedom. And we know that expected value of statistic is equal to n minus 1. Mean of a chi-square distribution is n minus 1 and variance of chi-square distribution is 2n minus 1. Okay. So expectation of n s square upon sigma square is equal to n minus 1. Okay. Definition of chi-square distribution and variance of n s square upon sigma square is equal to 2n minus 1. If there are degrees of freedom n, then you substitute here n. If there are degrees of freedom n, then you substitute here 2n. But our degrees of freedom are n minus 1. So mean of a chi-square distribution is n minus 1. It's the degrees of freedom, all of you remember. And variance of this statistic is also 2 times its degrees of freedom. Okay. Now here we have use our sufficient condition. That first condition is that this goes to theta as n tends to infinity. Then we take limit of this term, also limit of this term, and find out whether it goes to sigma square or not. Okay. Hence, taking limits of both sides, here we take limit n tends to infinity, expectation of n s square divided by sigma square is equal to taking limits of both sides, here n minus 1. And we know that definition of expectation or property of expectation, constant terms are taken outside the bracket. So n get constant here, here also sigma square is a constant. Here we write down limit n tends to infinity. Only remaining term is that expectation of s square. Here also limit n tends to infinity, n minus 1. Okay. Constants are outside the bracket. We have to prove that these two properties. So this constant goes here and multiply this term. So finally limit n tends to infinity, expectation of s square is equal to n here multiplied, here divided by, here limit n tends to infinity, n minus 1 divided by n, sigma square here divided, so multiplied by here. Okay. Which is equal to multiplied by sigma. Now we have to take limit. Taking limits of both sides, this term as it is. If we take limit of this term, sigma square get constant outside the bracket, and limit of this term is, okay, I write down here, sigma square limit n tends to infinity, n divided by n, okay, 1 minus 1 divided by n, so here 1 by n. All of you know limit n tends to infinity, constant, limit of constant is constant itself, n tends to infinity, 1 divided by infinity is 0, 1 minus 0, 0. So I have write down here which is equal to sigma square. Means this is our first condition. Here we have shown that limit n tends to infinity, expectation of s square is equal to sigma square. This is our first sufficient condition to check consistency, whether this s square is a consistent or not. This first condition we have satisfied here. Now we have to satisfy our second condition. You notice second condition, variance of s square tends to 0. Means we have to find out, since we know that, write down here, what is our statistic, n s square upon sigma square. And variance of that is 2 into its degrees of freedom. Since this statistic follows chi-square with n minus 1 degrees of freedom, and variance of chi-square distribution is 2 times its degrees of freedom. Same way, constants are outside the bracket, so n outside the bracket it becomes n square, sigma square becomes sigma raised to 4. Variance of s square is equal to 2 into n minus 1. Same way, variance of s square, n square here multiplied by, so here we have divided 2 divided by n square. Sigma raised to 4, this term is divided by here, so here sigma raised to 4 n minus 1 as it is sigma raised to 4. Okay. Now variance of, I write down here, variance of this term, or directly I write down here, variance of this term, I directly write down here, s square is equal to, okay, 2 sigma raised to 4 constant here, n minus 1 divided by n square, this term I write down here, n minus 1 divided by n square. Now our second condition is that we have to take limit as n tends to infinity. So limit n tends to infinity, variance of s square is equal to, we know that 2 sigma raised to 4 constant outside the bracket, so limit n tends to infinity, we have to take limit only this term, n minus 1 divided by n square. Okay, so which is equal to 2 sigma raised to 4. We take limit of this quantity n divided by n square. I write down here again, n divided by n square means here 1 upon n minus 1 upon n square, and n tends to infinity. If we substitute n infinity here, 1 upon infinity is 0. Also here 1 upon infinity is 0. 0 multiplied by 2 sigma raised to 4 is equal to 0, and this is our second condition. Here we satisfy our second condition is that limit n tends to infinity, variance of s square is equal to 0. Means for sample variance we satisfy our both conditions of consistency. That is, if we take n large, all of you remember that this is a large sample property. If we take our sample size n is a large, then expected value of s square goes to its sigma square, means population parameter. Also if we take for large and variance of s square it goes to 0, means here both conditions 1 and 2 are satisfied. Hence what is our result? Our result is that here Tn is equal to s square, and you must remember formula of s square is that summation xi minus x bar bracket square divided by n. Okay, is not unbiased. This result already we have proved is not unbiased but consistent estimator. Okay, consistent estimator for whom? For population variance sigma square, not population mean mu. This one is, remember, is that sample variance is not unbiased but it is consistent estimator for population variance sigma square. Same way you have shown that our second example that sample mean square, that is capital S square, is unbiased and also consistent estimator for population variance sigma square. This part we have complete in our next lecture. Thank you.